What's going on, faithful? The Pigskin crew is back. Week 16 is in the books. We're on our way to week 17 in the NFL. Mose, football's almost over, bro. The regular season, that is.
Yeah, man, it's like we wait all year for September to come, and then September finally gets here, and it's like the rest of the year just goes by so fast. We're already in week 17. It's kind of the bittersweet, sentiment about football. It comes and goes very, very quickly, but we've had an exciting season so far, and now we're getting to the tournament time where the games, count. It's win or go home, and we see who is going to step it up and on their way to that Lombardi Trophy. So it's exciting time.
Oh, for sure. Guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on both channels right here or right on the YouTube. We truly appreciate you guys, man. And listen, Mose, let's get right down to it. We got last week's records, man. I'm 20 behind. 20. That's a lot of games. I gotta go. Yep. We already know what it is. So look, we're gonna get down. Thursday night football kicks off 8:15 p.m. You got the New York Football Jets traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Joe Flacco and the Browns.
Yeah, Joe Flacco's rejuvenated. He's excited. He's got something special going on in Cleveland. The Jets don't know what they have to do at quarterback. Apparently there are rumors going on about Robert Saleh and his job, but they let him know that he is safe for another season because we know that this isn't the season that they anticipated with, Aaron Rodgers having that injury in week one. So I think they're going to give him another shot at it. But for all intents and purposes, this season is over for the Jets. I'm going with the Browns.
Yep, got the Browns getting the dub here. I'm not sure if Cooper's playing, but I believe that he will. He was dealing with some injuries, but I think the Browns just have enough firepower. The one thing that they're going to do is throw the ball. I know the Jets have a good secondary, but they've pretty much been subpar this year. You haven't really been hearing much about their secondary and their defense, and they just gave up a bunch of stinking points to another team last week that I just didn't expect. So look, I'm gonna go with the Browns here. We got this is a good matchup right here. You got the 11-4 Detroit Lions on the road Saturday. It's the only Saturday game, 8:15 p.m. prime time against the Cowboys at home. Cowboys don't lose at home. Lions only have 2 losses on the road. Will it be 3 losses, Most?
I think so. I think the Cowboys, they don't lose at home. Um, they just find a way to play in front of that home crowd. That stadium is electric down there in Texas. I think the Lions put up a fight, but I think the Cowboys want to bounce back. I think they lost two in a row, so I think they're trying to get back on a winning track and stay on pace um, with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm going Cowboys here.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys winning. It's a home game for them. They play really well at home. I know the Lions are the number one seed in the NFC North, but I just don't think that they'll find a way to pull out a victory. Hopefully, this is one of those shootout games, Jared Goff versus Dak Prescott. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going Cowboys. You got Sunday games kicking off at 1 p.m. The Patriots at the Bills and AFC West. It's not a showdown. I mean, AFC East, not a showdown because the Bills are the more dominant team here. But can this go either way?
I don't think so. I was really interested to hear what you said because you've been picking the Patriots all season.
Did I pick
Of
them last
course,
week? I
you
sure
did pick
did.
them last week, and they
I
beat
told
the
you.
Broncos.
I told you.
I, I don't know how they went in there with Bailey Zappi and beat the Broncos, but I'm going Bills. I think they're still fighting for their playoff lives. They need to make sure that they secure one of those wild card spots. So give me Buffalo.
Yeah, last week Bailey Zappi looked just like Mac Jones. So they somehow still got the win without Ramondre Stevenson. I know their defense is going to be pretty good. It's going to be probably more of a defensive battle. I don't expect Josh Allen to go off, but I'm going to go with the Bills here. I'm not going to pick the Patriots. I think the Bills get the dub. Let's go Falcons at the Bears, Mose.
Hmm. This is an interesting one. I think two teams that don't really have much to play for. I think the Falcons are still. Let me check the standings. Are they still?
They could be because they're The Bucks are only 8-7, and there's two
Yeah, I
games
mean
left.
they're 7-8. So the Falcons do have something to play for. And oddly enough, the Bears statistically have not been eliminated either. So both of these teams have something to play for. I think if you're the Bears at home, you get this win. You have the tiebreaker over Atlanta because there's a four-team logjam: Vikings, Falcons, Packers, and Saints that are all 7-8. Now you need some things to happen. Obviously, you need the Saints to lose as well. They're in your division. Um, but I think the Bears show up motivated. I think they were motivated last week, and I think they're still fighting. So I'm going Chicago at home.
Yeah, I think the Bears are going to do one thing and take away the run. That's the thing that they're really good at this year, eliminating the run. So they have a top run defense in the league, top three. At the Falcons, they just don't seem to try to run the ball much. And then you got to put it on their quarterback's hands, and I just don't trust the quarterback. The Bears have a really good defense, so I'm gonna go Bears here. As with you, Mose. Here's a good one: the Raiders at the Colts.
Colts let me down last week, I
Yeah.
think. Um, Raiders have been playing really, really well. I think the players want Antonio Pierce to remain as the head coach, and I think they're playing for him and for each other. I think it is going to be tough on the road, but the Colts indoor stadium, kind of mimics the Raiders stadium. No disrespect to Colts fans, but I don't know if they're as rowdy as some other fan bases. Colts defense is tough at home. Wow, this is a tough one. I'm picking this one on the fly. I'm gonna go Raiders.
I'm gonna go Raiders with you, bro. Listen, Zamir White, I thought they would have utilized him a lot earlier in the season. I was wrong because I drafted him in my fantasy draft. I thought this would be a kid that they can split touches with. Josh Jacobs ain't at practice. Double negative or not, he ain't there. So he's running the ball well. Maybe the ground runner of the week because he had over 140 plus yards. But listen, I think they run the ball down the Colts' throats, and it is what it is. And their defense is playing really good football. I'm going to go with Aiden O'Connell, the rookie, and the Raiders. I think that they find a way to get the run, and they're not mathematically out of the playoffs either. And if they can beat the Colts and win next week, they can snatch up a wild card spot and be playing on Super Wild Card Weekend. So I'm going to go Raiders here. I didn't think I would ever go Raiders. I'm going to go with the Raiders. Here, Rams at the Giants.
Again, another team. If we look at the standings, they're not out yet, and they're actually sitting comfortably at 6. We could have 3 teams from the NFC West that are in the playoffs. And if you asked me at the beginning of the season if that was going to happen, I would have told you no. Um, so I think the Rams, they want to stay a step ahead of the Seahawks. Both of those teams come in with the same record at 8-7. And the Giants are what the Giants are. We don't know if Tommy DeVito is going to be cleared to play. That means Tyrod Taylor is going to have to get the start. I know it's on the road, but I think the Rams are the better team in this matchup. Give me LA.
Yeah, I got the Rams winning. They seem to be clicking on all facets of football. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if the Giants punched them in the mouth with the veteran Tyrod Taylor, who I believe is going to get the start. And so I wouldn't be surprised at all if they actually punch the Rams in the mouth and get a dub at home. Saquon Barkley looked good last week. This could be a really good game. Could be a battle of the running backs. But if you don't pick the Rams, that means you're hating on them, and they just have the superior guy at the quarterback position. So I'm gonna go with Matthew Stafford here and his weapons over the New York Football Giants. All right, you got the Cardinals traveling east, take on the Philadelphia Eagles. It's easy for me. It's just Eagles in this one.
Yeah, I mean, as much as the fan in me wants the Eagles to lose, because that just makes our path to the number 1 seed that much less strenuous. Um, the Cardinals just aren't a good football team, and no matter what they have on offense, there's no one that they have on defense to be able to stop Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, DeAndre Swift. The list goes on and on. So like you said, it's an easy one. This is Eagles all the way.
All the way. Mose, speaking of traveling east, the San Francisco 49ers head out to Washington, D.C. to FedEx Field to take on the Commanders. The Niners got punched in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
They got punched in the mouth real bad at home and losing to the Baltimore Ravens. The Niners didn't look good offensively. They can only put up 17 points. And now you're asking that same offense to go on the road and possibly put up more than 17 points. Now, the good thing is the Commanders, they average over giving up over 30 points a game. And so, who you got winning this game, Mose, and why?
I got the 49ers for the simple fact that, losing that game to Baltimore, while it didn't mean much in the standings, that means like we have to win out or hope, Philadelphia or Dallas loses one again to make sure that we secure that number one overall seed. So um, I think this team has responded well. We had that adversity early on in the season where, that game against the Browns could have went either way. So I don't really call that one a punch in the mouth because we still had an opportunity to win that game with the weather, with the injuries, all those type of things. I don't think we took the Vikings seriously with the way their team was playing and without Justin Jefferson. And then on a 2-game skid, now you're overthinking things a bit. And then you get the only time the Bengals were healthy this season, uh, unfortunately, right? But I think this team responds well. We're talking about a team that's, eliminated. We're talking about a team that's probably going to go through massive change as far as head coach, as far as general manager. They may even change the name of the team again with the new ownership in place. So I think the 49ers don't need to overthink this one. The Commanders are the next team on the schedule and the next team that the 49ers have an opportunity to get a win against. And I think that's the mindset we go in that game with. Go in, get a win, get on the plane, get back home, and get prepared for the final week of the season. So I'm going Niners.
Yeah, it's Niners for me as well. You got the Saints at the Buccaneers, a good old NFC South battle, right? You got the Saints at the Buccaneers. Buccaneers currently leading their division at 8-7, but you just told me that there was another team that's fighting, and here's the other team that's going to be fighting and scrapping. So who you got?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really, really good game, but the Buccaneers just seem to have it figured out. They know who they are. They know how they win games. They're not going to be a team that, blows anybody out. They're not going to be a team that puts up 40, 50 with 400 passing yards and 250 rushing yards on the ground. But they play solid defense and they put the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Mike Evans specifically, they're figuring out how to run the ball with Rashad White. So I think they want to maintain that lead that they have in the division, lock up that 4th seed, and get at least one home game in the playoffs. Give me Tampa.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bucks here, man. They just seem like the more complete team. I don't know which Saints team is going to show up. It's kind of weird, right? Don't know which one is going to show up. Should be a dogfight, though. These games usually always are, but I'm going Buccaneers there as well. Now you got the Carolina Panthers traveling out to Jacksonville, Florida, to take on the Jaguars. Wow.
We had a couple of bird bowls. We got one. We got Cardinals
It's
and,
the
and
Pussycats
Eagles,
right here,
and
dog.
now we got the Cat Bowl. Uh, the Jags are on a 4
Game
game
losing streak.
losing streak. This was one of those hot AFC teams that nobody wanted to play. And to go on a 4 game losing streak, giving up almost 30 every single one of those games, I think they have some things to figure out. Now, if there was ever a get right opponent on this schedule, sorry Panthers fans, this is a get right game for the Jaguars. I know the Panthers are going to come out and fight, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Question is, Trevor Lawrence, 100%. I don't think he is, but I don't think he needs to be for this game. Give me the Jags.
Honestly, I think Jacksonville, and I know that Trevor Lawrence will probably disagree, but he's not healthy. And you sit him. And if you can't beat this Panthers team with CJ beat hard, then I don't know what to tell you. That means your team need to be checked. Jaguars still have a pretty good defense. The defenses might be a push, actually. I like both teams' defenses. But at the end of the day, my man CJ Beathard should be able to get this dub. I think if they start the game off with Trevor Lawrence and he somehow comes out of the game due to injury and then Beathard has to come in to relieve him, I think they lose. But I'm going to pick the Jaguars because they should be able to defeat the Carolina Panthers. The thing about the Panthers is they're just playing hard football. They're trying to close out the season. But I'm going to go with Jags right here. You got the Texans, the Titans, excuse me, at the Texans. Tex, are the Texans in the lead in that division? They're 8-7. AFC South? Oh no,
No,
it's still the Jaguars.
Jags.
Still the
Jags are
Jags.
still in the lead. Yeah.
That's yeah.
So they're trying to keep pace with them. The Titans have been mathematically eliminated, so they're out.
Yep.
And they're probably going to start Ryan Tannehill.
They said Will Levis may be back.
They said he's going to be back?
Yeah.
Man. Screw it. Give me the home team. I'm going Texans.
Yeah, I'm
They
just
got
gonna
more
go
to
with the
play for.
Texans here. Yeah, it's the fact that they're scrapping to get into the playoffs lets me know that they're gonna come out by any means necessary to try to get this win. So I'm gonna go with the Texans. We got the Dolphins at the Ravens, Mose. So this is gonna be an
Ooh-wee.
interesting game.
I think it's going to be a very interesting game.
No Jalen Waddle.
No Jalen Waddle. He's been ruled out. But there's still that man, Tyreek Hill. I think my only concern is how this Dolphins offensive line is going to protect Tua. But I feel like there was I should have had my notes prepared. But I feel like there was a team that we played earlier this season that we lost to, that the Dolphins then played the following week and beat. And even if that didn't happen, like the following week, if it happened later on in the season, one thing I know is if anybody can watch the game and understand what Kyle was trying to do, it's Mike McDaniel. And when he watches that game and he understands what Kyle is trying to do and what Baltimore did to combat it, I think he's going to be able to build a game plan around what Baltimore tried to do to combat whatever Kyle was going to do. Because I think everybody in this league knows Mike McDaniel's offense is a little bit similar to Kyle Shanahan's with a few wrinkles here or there. So I think having these two play callers back to back allows you to kind of build a similar scheme to face both opponents. Obviously, there's different facets. You got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, which is a bunch of speed, versus Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, which is physicality, route running, those kind of things. But I think the overall scheme, the foundation of the scheme is similar, right? So I think Mike McDaniel is going to find a way to understand what Kyle was trying to do and figure out a way to, neutralize or combat whatever the Ravens defense is going to do. You got the running backs back there, Mostert, Achan. I'm going Dolphins.
All right, I'm gonna go Ravens in this game. I'm gonna go the Ravens. Very well said, very well thought of. Steelers at the Seahawks. I'm just gonna come out and just say Seahawks. I think they get the dub.
Steelers on the road.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph's playing. I tried to tell people though, Mason Rudolph looked all right.
He didn't look bad.
You going Seahawks? I'll go Steelers.
All right. Oh man, this is going to be an interesting one. Chargers, Easton Stick versus Jarrett Stidham. The Broncos. I don't think the Broncos are going to win. I hope the Chargers win just because of what's going on there in Denver. But who you picking?
Easton Stick, Jarrett Stidham. You pose a good question there, bro. I mean, Easton has played, whereas Jarrett has not. Chargers defense, I have no idea what's going on with them. Broncos defense is okay. They're in Mile High, so you got to think about the elevation.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Denver. I'm not confident about it, but I'll go Broncos.
I'm not confident either. I mean, that's who I have to pick to win. I'm hoping that the Chargers win, so I'm going to go Broncos as well. But this would be the one game I really want Denver to lose, and I have my personal reasons. Bengals at the Chiefs. Browning
Chiefs.
versus Chiefs. And you got Monday Night Football. You got the Packers at the Vikings. NFC North divisional matchup. Both teams are 7-8. Both teams are fighting for that playoff 7th seed, 6th seed, whatever they can get to get in. Nick Mullins has been benched. I'm going Packers here, dog, on the road.
So who's playing? Are they going back to
Jaron
Dobbs?
Hall.
Oh, give me the Packers.
Well,
yeah, give me the Packers.
Yeah, man. Look. They should have rolled with Nick Mullins. I know he looked bad against the Lions last week, but he still kept him in the game. They did have a lot of turnovers, but they still could have won that game.
They should have. I don't think they should have went to Mullins. I think they should have stayed with Dobbs. He ain't the greatest, but what did you trade for? You made a midseason trade to bring him in.
Yeah, he had a great first game, and then after that, they tried to switch it up on him. That's what they get. That's what they get.
Should have kept you kept the playbook simple because you know he was coming in and didn't have any practice.
They don't care about.
And then you went from simple to intricate in a matter of 2 days. Like,
yep. Well,
I mean, I'm not an NFL head coach, but like,
it doesn't make any sense.
You got to slow play that.
It is what it is. All I know is go Pack go. Ladies and gents, thanks y'all so much for tuning in to this week's version of Pigskin Picks. We'll be back next week. I hope you guys have a great, great weekend. Happy New Year to everybody out there. We'll see you next week, man. Thanks for watching. Peace out.